So I have a name that I'm just going to throw at you, and I think you're going to tell me no, because I think it's no. But I wonder if this player could. Well, I just wonder if this player could want a bigger role. Like, is Tari Eason going to be completely happy with his role in Houston?
I think they're going to re-sign Tari.
Okay, I think so too. It was just like they bring in.
I understand why you put him here.
Yeah,
he's like my mind stopped on him whenever I did this exercise myself. But I think they're going to re-sign him.
Okay.
You made me bet.
So he was just one because like I think he's good. He's definitely not going to start. And they, like you're still competing, like Dorian Finney-Smith got brought. Like he's definitely in the rotation. It was just like, does Tari go like, I'm a starter in this league. Like I want to be somewhere where I'm playing more minutes. So, okay. The only other player I had in that draft was Peyton Watson. Like, and we don't have to get into that. Okay. Here's
just real quick. I want to talk about just Tari for a second in terms of why I think this probably doesn't happen and why I think that he's worth targeting because he is exceptionally valuable off the bench as like an energy player at the very least that we've seen. This is another like Aaron Gordon-y type that I think is going to help a winning team at some point just through sheer energy, activity, athleticism, power, defensive ability. I would guess that, look, there is no extension done with Kevin Durant right now. And I don't know that there is an extent. Like, I don't know one way or another if there's an extension coming for Kevin Durant at this point. So if they're looking at Durant as like a 1-year rental to kind of see what this looks like and then move forward, I think you probably have to pay Tari just in case.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. No, I mean, it makes sense. It was just, it was more about I was looking for guys who I think are good players where it's like, maybe, I mean, this isn't how it works because it's not free agency, but it's like, maybe there's a bigger role that could be out there that, like I said, maybe he would be into that or whatever. So, okay. So I have I'm going to see what you think about this one. I put Anthony Black for the Magic because what Orlando pushed all their chips in, Sam. And I went on a Magic podcast recently with our guy, Stephen Cameron, and we talked about this, that Anthony Black probably needs to be ready to play for this team this year. And I just like, is there a world where he's not quite ready to be a playoff Eastern Conference title level contributor? And you could call Orlando and say, hey, we'll give you this veteran backup guard and you give us young Anthony Black. And you're already expensive. So are you going to be able to pay him down the road anyway? It just was an interesting one because they've pushed their chips in. And what if he's not quite ready for playoff basketball at that level yet?
Well, here's the other thing on AB. If you move him somewhere for a pick, you get real close to getting out of the tax.
Okay. So like
for them.
Yeah. And you like maybe Jace Rich.
I think that like they would actually be out of the tax if they moved AB.
Yeah, what's the tax? Oh yeah, no, this says 5.5 and AB is 8.
They only have 14 right now on the roster. So you would then have to sign somebody else. It'd depend on when the deal would happen, kind of thing, in terms of them like totally getting under the tax. But I would guess that they would get under the tax by moving AB.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like maybe in general, like maybe there's another corresponding move or whatever. He was one. I like Anthony Black. But I think his limitations right now could lend itself to Orlando going, we can't play you in the playoffs. So we're going to go trade for a guard that maybe isn't as good as you defensively, but is a little more vet and can really shoot it. Or we can't play you in the playoffs. So we're going to duck the tax by moving you, whatever. So he was one in that as I got into the 2023 draft, he was a name that was interesting to me.
I think this is a great name. So there are many reasons why. So obviously you still have Suggs and Bane. Right. Those are your two starters in the backcourt. You have a number of ball handlers as well in Franz and Paulo that are going to be, dominating the ball for you at this point. So you just signed Tyus Jones to be your backup point guard.
Yep.
Like Tyus is going to play 20 to 25 minutes a night because that's, what he does. Right. You then also just drafted Jace Richardson.
Yep.
To be your point guard of the future, potentially. And a guy that can actually shoot. And I think fits better with Paulo and Franz because of the shooting than Anthony Black does. So all of those factors make me think that like Anthony Black is a really good name to have on this list. And I think a very strong target to look at if I was another team that really liked Anthony Black. Here is my main question though, if I'm, being honest. Have we seen enough from AB? Like, I'm not sure that I think AB will play this year for sure. Like, I think he will play 15 to 20 minutes a game. I don't think it's going to be as many minutes as it was last year, honestly, just because of Jalen Suggs being back, Desmond Bane entering the fold.
Yeah.
You could say Gary Harris is leaving, but Bane's going to play more minutes than, Harris did, certainly. And then you bring in Tyus Jones as well. And I would think Tyus Jones is coming in to be ahead of Anthony Black in the pecking order, right? And yeah, Anthony Black can play, off the ball a little bit in theory, like can play the 2 and the 3 because he's big enough, but it's not really what his skill set is. And, if you're going to do that, you might as well move him at that point to maintain the value anyway. So if I was them, I actually probably would be looking at moving Black, I think, even though, and what about Anthony Black though? I think this is my question to you. Like, what is Anthony Black to you as a prospect right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the defensive side of things. I really think he can defend. I actually like his off the ball ability in terms of his cutting and those type of things. We talk this all the time whenever we talk about Orlando Magic players, but it is a unique role on the offensive end because again, I'm not sure I fully trust him to be like a primary initiator. The jumper's not good enough yet, but he does have real passing skills. He has real athleticism. He would be a player for me. I mean, I'm not trading for him thinking he's going to be my starter, obviously, but I feel like if I could bring him in and he's my 4th guard, maybe 3rd guard, I feel pretty good about it. And especially if I have real shooting on the rest of the roster. And that's a thing where I think with Orlando, we know that is a real question mark. So you get him on a team where there's real floor spacing in other positions. Maybe his doesn't show up as bad.
Is Anthony Black an on-ball guard or an off-ball guard? That's my big question right now. Like, is he a tweener there right now?
I would say tweener, yes.
Yeah. And I mean tweener negatively, not positively.
Sure.
Like, there's a difference between being versatile and being a tweener. Sure. Right?
Yeah. So
I haven't really loved the on-ball stuff yet, to be honest. Like, I think that like him running the offense hasn't looked super great because I don't think he has a great handle right now. And it just feels very clunky. Like he doesn't really get into the paint quite as much. I think that off the ball though, when you play him, teams just don't really guard him as a shooter right now.
Yeah.
So it's a huge bet on him getting better as a shooter.
Yeah.
Now I love him on defense and I love the processing ability. I think that he thinks the game so quickly when he's just like kind of reading and reacting to what's happening around him. That's why I had him quite high. I think I had him at like 7 or 8 in that class. Like I really liked Anthony Black's combination of size, processing ability, and defensive ability. I just wonder if he's like a little bit in between and might end up being like, more of a wing that can't shoot and just has to get by with like processing. And that feels, that feels very scheme and team dependent at that point.
This is an archetype we've fallen into this conversation a lot with, right? This is the Jaeger conversation, right? Like everybody,
totally.
Talks about, well, if he can't make it on the ball, he has enough size to go play the wing. And the difference here is Anthony Black is just way better than Jaeger is defensively, but it's the same on the offensive end. It's the same idea of these jumbo initiators or big initiators. Like, okay, if they don't have enough on-ball juice, we'll just have them go play off the ball. And even though they're processing, and I do think this is true with Anthony Black, does lend itself to being good off the ball movers and cutters, because I do think he does that, and he has the athleticism to finish. The 3-point shooting, specifically catch and shoot, relocation, all of that has to hit a certain threshold for everything else to kind of matter.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. So like here'd be my next question. Like what teams can take this flyer?
So that's
right?
what I was like. Yeah.
And like, is Orlando, I mean, part of the reason you do this if you're Orlando is you look to get like flexibility and potential movement ability back with your draft picks after trading a lot of them for Desmond Bane, right? So like, could you get a first round pick back for Anthony Black?
My answer would be no right now. I don't think Anthony Black returns a first round pick, does he?
Would Brooklyn give up? No, because Brooklyn just drafted all of those those guards.
Dudes. Yeah.
So like, would there's got to be a team.
So I was looking like
I'll
go ahead.
Would Minnesota give up a pick for him?
Okay, so I was going to say, in complete transparency, I went to NBA.com, filtered by 3-point percentage. Minnesota was 4th, and I just went, what if the Jalen Clark, Rob Dillingham, Tarrant Shannon Jr., whoever, replacement plans don't work out or get injured or something? Could Anthony Black be the answer for that role? You know what I mean? So that was actually a team that just caught my eye as well.
I mean, this is great. Like, could Washington do something with this? Like, you know, is there a way where Washington would just take the, Anthony Black deal essentially, and give up like the worst first rounder that they own or something like that?
Yeah, I think if he got a first rounder, it's just there would be protections, or like you said, it's the worst of, right? Like, we have 3 first round picks this year and we're going to give the worst of, which is essentially it's not truly protections, but kind of lends itself to not being a super high pick, I guess, depending on who the teams involved are.
So I've actually got a really interesting team.
So I was going to, what about
it? Go ahead.
I was going to say Boston.
Doesn't shoot, so I don't know if that works for them.
Well, so they have enough shooting. I thought it could insulate it, but they wouldn't want somebody that couldn't shoot it at all to mess that up.
Well, my idea was Philly next to Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. Like, it gives you 2 guys to like really play with him, where he can like maybe share the load offensively a little bit, and then also be the primary defender to take on all of the tough assignments for those guys, and like help them move the ball and distribute in the way that they need to. That actually might be if Philly could take a look at this, I think. And
like, you got really athletic all of a sudden with the draft of VJ Edgecombe. And then if you brought in somebody like Anthony Black,
and he's big enough to where you can play 3 of those guys. Like, you can play, Black and Edgecombe and
Maxey,
Jared McCain or something like that, right?
Yeah,
or Maxey, right?
Maxey. Yeah, Anthony Black is able to defensive. Like, I always think about this defensively. Do you have the guys to go guard who you need to on the defensive end? He can go guard 3s for sure.
Right. I mean, like, is there a deal where like you would give up something for this? Like, it's just hard because, I mean, I don't. Like, maybe this would be an option that you do instead of Grimes. Like, maybe it's like, if the Grimes thing comes to a head and he's like, I'm taking the qualifying offer, like, could you do something like, man, it's hard to like, could you like basically get what you get for Grimes and turn around and trade it somewhere else kind of thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, is there something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea of him there, but like, I just don't know that they need him because if they're going to re-sign Grimes.
Correct. Yeah. As we were talking through that was my thought as well. Is like, this sounds more like a Quentin Grimes replacement, because however that plays out, than it is add him to all of Grimes, Maxey, VJ, and McCain.
Yeah. The Warriors? Quick ball movement.
Yeah.
Like, is there any way that would work?
I don't mind that.
The Lakers?
I don't think I like that as much. I think if I'm building, I mean, a good cutter off Luka, like those guys is good, but I don't think I think I would rather have a guy who I really trust to stand in the corner and knock down a weak side catch and shoot three.
I would too.
The defensive aspect makes total sense. I think the offensive part could get clunky.